He just must be asking. All right. Oh, oh, brother. So the NBA is back in full swing, shall we say? Nothing wrong with that. In fact, we encourage it. But it's not always the most fun thing to watch, shall we say. But it do be doing its little thing. Let me see here. Before I am misleading. All right, cool. Chris, what's good? Dallin, what's good? Logic. It Giannis getting traded all depends on whether or not he actually knew about what was happening with Dame, like if he was clued into it, or if they did it without his knowledge. Because if he did know, then he's less likely to care about getting traded. But if they surprised him and he found out the same way, what's his name? The same way Dame did, which is the same way we found out, then he like any chance of them re-signing him probably just went out the window, basically. And allegedly, it happened like the whole thing started because they or Dame wanted to rehab back in Portland to be around his kids, and everybody in management didn't want to see that, which is kind of crazy. Which teams actually signed Lillard? I saw that the front runners seem to be like the what you call it? The Golden State Warriors. So if that's the case, I could see it happening. It's gonna have to be a contender though, because he's gonna be getting what $22.5 million a year. So if that is the case, then I could see a world where he's pretty content, just taking up the veteran minimum, and that's the other good thing about it because he can take the vet min, and then now he's gonna get what, like 36, 37 million for the year. So if that does end up happening, it makes a lot of sense for quite a few contenders actually to take it. It wouldn't surprise me if he ended up going with Miami, though I think it's highly unlikely considering the fact that he just had the issue with the Bucks, amongst other things. But you never really know, honestly. Um, in other news, we had what? We had Jordan Clarkson going to the Knicks. That was a very good pickup by the Knicks, and surprising how fast it was. I remember I was talking. I think I was talking to Tyson about it, and I said I don't see him staying on the free agency market more than probably 72 hours, maybe at max. He'll be gone. He'll be like picked up in 2 weeks. So the fact that it got swept that fast is actually kind of crazy to me. But nevertheless, it's positive in that way, I suppose. Bucks just shot themselves in the foot with the in the form of a buyout signing Turner. Yeah, when they signed Turner, that was surprising. But they had the money to. I personally don't think that Turner had the right. Or I'm not gonna say had the right. I don't think he had what's it called? He didn't have the ability to command the same money that a guy like Nas Reed does. Because while he does bring some good stuff to the table, he's not as good of a player. I don't think anybody would agree. Or I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Does Nas Reed have a few limitations? Yes. But his foot speed on the perimeter makes up for them, and overall the performance that Myles Turner had in the playoffs, more specifically in the finals. Let me pull up all his stats actually. Um, Stat Muse. Uh, Turner. Bring it over here with me. Um, Admittedly, like 15 and 6.5. What the heck? He okay. He averaged. I'm trying to find the silver lining here. So 15.5 points, 2 blocks in just 30 minutes, shooting almost 40% from 3-point range. Now I don't know how many attempts that's on. That's on. Yeah, 5.5 attempts. That's really really good. Um, Curious about that 6.5 rebounds. This seems to be well, he's for his career. I know he was never really super high, but seeing him so consistently under 7 is interesting. In the playoffs, 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. 34% from three, 48% from the field. Like those aren't bad numbers, but I don't think that's what I want to see out of somebody that I'm expecting to pay more. Because he wanted more than $25 million, or he wanted what 25, $26 million, something like that, before the Bucks ended up grabbing him, and the Pacers were going to be forced to match basically whatever Nas Reed ended up getting, because that was his whole stipulation. I want to get paid what Nas Reed gets paid. So Nas Reed gets paid, and I believe it is 25 million. I think it's like what? It's got to be 3 or 5 years. What is Nas Reed's contract? Nas Reed contract. So I don't misquote. Yeah, so 5 years, 125. Yeah, I bet. So yeah, he wanted that same thing, and that put the Pacers in a bind because of the way their team is structured. And while $25 million isn't crazy, I would argue he has relative value to a Walker Kessler. If Walker Kessler's offensive game isn't as smooth, Walker Kessler is a significantly better rebounder and definitely a better rim protector. They move their foot speed on the perimeter is roughly the same, and they navigate pick and rolls similarly. So in that vein, 25 million isn't crazy to ask for by any stretch of the imagination, but I still don't love the thought process. It's just not my cup of tea. Um, but again, the Bucks brought him in. Do they still have Bobby Portis? Mm, Look, they still got Lola there. Take him off. Roster. Oh, they don't have 26 or 25, 26. That's okay. I think he's still there. Yeah, it looks like he is. So I mean, did they retool in a way? Yes, but it's still ugly. Like it's heinous because of who they have available to them. But they're gonna do what they do and take it as they can. It was a good presentation. So let's see. No Sexton, no Jordan for anything in return. I'm assuming they just want to create minutes for the young core. The only thing about the Colin Sexton trade that irritates me is the fact that we could have just bought him out because we gave up a second round pick to take on a pointless contract, right? From a player who's not going to be stealing minutes from Walker Kessler, not even Walker Kessler, excuse me, yeah, from Walker Kessler and Lowry, but I just don't really understand the logic behind everything that they did. No, I just don't get what they were going for right there with that decision making. I'm not mad at it. I'm just flex, for lack of better phrasing. Um, he said, "I don't want a starting lineup with Keontae anywhere near it in this at the start of the year." Yeah, hopefully he doesn't. But at the end of the day, regardless, this is going to be the last year where he gets the opportunity to really showcase what he's worth. This is the money year for Keontae, and if he doesn't put on a show, he will effectively be getting the same, well, similar treatment to Jordan Clarkson, Keon, and Colin Sexton. He'll be gone, or at the very least, he'll have a significantly reduced amount of minutes. Not, he will be gone. Now that I think about it, because you got Ace Bailey, you just added, what's his name, the junior. They added the junior to the roster, so everybody's relatively all taken care of. There's not gonna be a lot of minutes to go around to share with anybody. So yeah, it's looking bad. It's looking bad for him. Tayton, you did make it, yes sir. Trade for Darius Garland, Garland Bailey. No baby weird, but he's a walking mismatch. Garland, Bailey, Lowry, Hendricks, Kessler. I can live with that. That wouldn't piss me off at all. Speaking of which, how old is Darius Garland? Darius Garland. 6 years experience. He's 20. Oh, well, he's what, a year younger than Colin Sexton? Just a better passer, realistically. Dang, he only averaged 7 assists last year? I don't know why, but I thought he was always like a 8, like a roughly 8 assist guy, 8, 9 assist guy. It just goes to show how difficult it is for everybody, honestly. Um, if he can stay healthy, then I would like to add him. But if he can't stay healthy, then that's going to be the tricky part. He said, "At least we all get to hear the Hornets announcers announce all his awesome plays." That is very true. That's going to be very fun. You said, "Do you think they will keep Lowry marketing?" Yes, I would like to say yeah. They should in theory, but I'm not 100% sure just yet, considering considering the circumstances that he has been in. That's going to be the tricky part of it all. So the thing with Lowry is like he's like the odd man out at this point. Yes, in theory, he was the best player that we had, but he's slightly older than Colin Sexton. We made sure to get Colin Sexton out of here for young guys, arguably half of which will not be as good as Colin Sexton at any point in their career. Like the iteration of Colin Sexton that was on the Jazz. Um, like to me, Keontae George will never be what Colin Sexton was for us, which means to me, Keontae George is probably out the door next. It makes the most sense, but I can't make that a guarantee, of course. So we just kind of have to play the waiting game and see what comes out of it. Jordan Clarkson going to New York was very interesting, actually. I gotta look at this again, make sure I know what I'm looking at right here. You said what happened here? Another day as key fighting for my life in the chess chat. Chris, yeah. This is that contract year for him. It's going to determine everything that he's going to be able to do. We're about to find out. So Cavs need to switch it up because they can't go over a second round pump, and we should do a 3-team deal with Boston since they're blowing it up anyways. Yeah, yeah, could make sense. If Isaiah comes in this year shooting better than last, Keontae is definitely cooked. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Definitely gonna be rough. You said I think Lowry is gone within the upcoming season. Honestly, yeah, that makes sense. Cavs get Jalen Brown. Cavs get Jalen Brown. We get Garland. Celtics get some of our young guys like Bryce or something, and some draft capital. I would be happy with that. I would be happy with that. That would be very very nice actually. What's good, Jeff? He said I know it's early for some, but I wish you that happy early for Fourth of July. Right back at you, brother. Most definitely. Gotta see some fireworks. I can see Lowry and Collins gone before the trade deadline. I can definitely see. I'm surprised John Collins is still here. Now I did see a rumor where it was connecting him to the what you call him, the Miami Heat. So that made sense to me in a way, especially with the way the Heat's just picks have been, because Heat culture hasn't been doing what it needs to do. I'm not gonna lie, and it's getting kind of ugly. Collins in that Boston deal. Good. I wouldn't give up Bryce as a first piece unless it was only becomes must for Celtics. Yeah, yeah. I'm actually really high on Bryce, all things considered. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, things stay that way. If he regresses this year, it would make me kind of sad because the jump that he had last year. Remember, let's see if we can overview. Where are we? Here we go. Uh, where is he? Why does he have a picture? He doesn't have a picture. Am I tripping? Keontae George has one. Does KJ Martin have a picture, but not? You know what? Never mind. Oh, here we go. 15 starts, averaging 20 minutes, 10, 3, 1.5. Shooting 46% from the field, 42% from three on 5.2 attempts. That's tough. Like, that was the kind of season, shooting wise, I was hoping Keontae George would end up having, but we weren't able to end up getting that out of him. So that definitely was rough. It was good, Coleman Sports. He said, I love Bryce too, but you usually don't get an all star for nothing. We have to give something Boston will actually value. Yeah, that's true. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I think what's his name? I think John Collins would be an interesting fit considering I don't think they've re-signed Al Horford yet, and they did end up trading away Porzingis, so they're really reshaping things over there. Obviously, they add Anthony Simons for Drew Holiday, which I didn't see coming at all. Like it came out of left field. They're more offensively potent, but defensively it brings some more questions into the conversation. Man, matter of fact, let me see. Look right now, Al Horford. Unless he's still here. New development on Al Horford. Decent chance Al Horford will leave Celtics for either the Lakers or Warriors. Oh, this is news to me. All right, so it looks like 32 minutes ago. Let's look at this one. Trade away starters Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, a pair of deals that had 3 second-round picks. Anthony Simons, George Yang helped him temporarily. Like these are also like nobody's talking about it, but these are like not very good trades. Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. Now it's not crazy, right? That's not crazy insane value, but those are two very much above average players. And you got Anthony Simons, right? George Yang. Now those two are probably the equivalent to me of Porzingis or a healthy Porzingis. Then we're talking 3 seconds. That's kind of nasty. It's kind of nasty. Not as nasty as what we did, but still nasty. I would say it's something to keep an eye on. Let's see, despite being 39 years old, Horford remains to demand a solid floor stretching center with an above average passing gene for his position. 60 regular season Myles this year, Florida product 9 points, shooting 42% from the field, 36% from 3, 89% from the free throw line, 6 boards, 2 dimes, 1 block, about half a steal. Ooh. He's not going to the Cavs. Why would he go to the Cavs? That doesn't. No, they have Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, and I'm forgetting there's somebody else over there. No, that doesn't even make sense. So go ahead and cross them out. The Lakers just added what's his name? The Lakers just added DeAndre Ayton, like we talked about. I was wondering about the DeAndre Ayton thing. I figured it. What did I say last time? It was like a 70 or 80% chance he ended up going to the Lakers. Lo and behold, yes, he's on the Lakers now. We have. I could see him running it back up 5. Split minutes with Jackson Hayes. But I think Golden State probably makes the most sense. And they'll probably have the money to do it, what's necessary to bring him in. Oh, wait, they said this right here. Sunday will be the first day of the 25-26 salary cap, and that means NBA teams will make most free agency signings and trades official. So far this summer, the Warriors have seen one of their longtime centers, Kevon Looney, abandon the team for the New Orleans Pelicans. That's what happened? Was proved to be virtually unplayable this season. What? Steph's 37? Holy. That's crazy. I've heard some things, but I was not expecting that one. 37-year-old Stephen Curry? I knew Jimmy Butler was 35. But I feel like Steph was like 35 too. I didn't think he was 37. That's actually kind of crazy. Dang. The league is changing right in front of my eyes, and I'm here, I'm seeing it, but it's just crazy still, nevertheless. Where are we at? We said, do you think the Jazz will make more trades? I think John Collins is the last trade we'll see this off season. He has to be, because if you look at our roster as it's currently, well, what we know is still here. Johnny's not here. C's not here. Who else on here that matters? It's not here. Sykeson's gone. Clarkson's gone. You have George. You have Markkinen. You have Collins. You have Kessler. You have Collier. You have Hendricks. You have KJ Martin. You have Cody Williams. You have Flip. You have Sensabaugh. Yeah. John Collins is the odd man out by default. Again, in just 31 minutes of action, 47. Wait, no, that's not him. 40 games, 31 of them being starts, 30 minutes a night, 19 points, 8.2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. Shooting 53% from the field and 40% from three-point range on 3.7 attempts. To go along with 84% from the free throw line. That's really solid. And I think there'd be a lot of teams that would be interested in the services that he can provide, to be quite honest. No, I think the Heat make the most sense. Could I see him maybe going to the Lakers, or honestly, yeah. Now that I think about it, John Collins to the Lakers. John Collins over Rui Hachimura makes a lot of sense. Rui Hachimura just didn't do enough, and honestly, he's not a power forward, and maybe he's supposed to be, but watching him play doesn't scream power forward playing, if that makes sense. So I think John Collins actually in the purple and gold would look a lot better. It would make, what's his name? Uh, what is bro's name? He just signed DeAndre Ayton. He would probably put DeAndre Ayton at ease a little bit, honestly. We said Bryce had at least proven he can come off the bench and not stink. I think that's why the Jazz felt comfortable just straight up buying out Clarkson. Yeah, and then Clarkson ended up giving back, in good faith. He gave back 3.6 million, or forgave, I guess, 3.6 million of his contract in the process. So that was pleasant. It's not a crazy amount of money, but it's still money nevertheless. He said Bryce might regress slightly, but shooting wise, he should be decent enough. Do you think the Jazz? Yeah, we covered that. Most likely one if it benefits the younger guys. If nothing else, we move Collins. I believe even if for a nobody like 2 seconds, even if we get 2 seconds for John, we have to view that as a net win because we only gave up a second for him. That's a very fair point. Horford already got his wing, so he might as well chase the bag at this point. That's fair. Ideally, yes, but we might not get the returns the Jazz get. I saw a reel about that. I'll send it to you, Ray. But the guy was saying after adding 8 in, the Lakers might set the record for worst defensive rating ever. It wouldn't surprise me. DeAndre Ayton can be an effective defender, but it's all dependent on his motivation, which is a problem in and of itself because he gets criticized very greatly for some of the things that he does and does not do. And I don't see a world where it gets significantly better for him. He can reinvent himself, and if anybody can convince him to, I think the dynamic of having LeBron and JJ Redick in your corner should force you to. If LeBron and JJ Redick can't get a change out of you, can't make you more serviceable, can't make you a borderline all NBA talent, when you were literally the number 1 draft pick that was picked over the number 2 draft pick who you will now be playing alongside, then you're just not very good at basketball. It might be time to unlace the shoes and put them on the shelf. Put them in the trophy case, dare I say. That's all. Let me see. No benefits to the Lakers signing Ayton. No more Lakers clamoring for Kessler. Yeah, that means Kessler's completely, yeah, he should be off their radar completely. That also means that since that happened, they already didn't have enough to get Kessler, and that was the bigger issue, I think, than us wanting to keep him low key. But now we know they're not coming for Kessler, so yeah. We also lost Johnny. Yeah. Oh no, I said his name. Yeah, we lost Johnny. That was kind of surprising. I was never super high on Johnny. However, right, if you come down here and you look, granted he played 64 games, started 18, about 20 minutes a night, 9 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, half a steal, right? On 7.5 attempts, 43% shooting, but of those 7.5, 5 were 3-pointers. He shot 37.5%. So he was one of those more situational pieces where you don't play him all the time, and he doesn't have a very deep bag. But as a role player, I felt like he would be worth something, especially considering his age, because he's not old at all. Yeah, he's 24. He was just on our summer league team, spending a lot of time down there. So I would like to think that this is going to serve as an opportunity for him to go somewhere else and put in some work. I think he's definitely worth it. I'm a lot higher on Johnny now after the way the season played out than I was at the end of the previous season. That's for sure. Because what is it? G League Johnny and Step Up Johnny off the bench are 2 completely different players, and I love that. Just goes to show how much better he's gotten. We said the Heat are still on the run by Pat Riley. No deal would get done even if it makes sense. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Pat Riley might have to hang it up because people are starting to catch on to the fact that every time a star player wants to go there, they're never able to go there because of the way that he structures his deals or the money that he offers to people. Because you think about all, like, Heat culture is basically taking players that have no business making deep playoff runs and making deep playoff runs with said players, which is fine and dandy and all. But at some point, you have to have a great player, right? You had D Wade, you had Shaq for a short stint, you added in Chris Bosh and LeBron for a short stint. You added Jimmy Butler, right? And now you don't have Jimmy Butler anymore. So you have to figure something out, right? Because Bam Adebayo, while great, is never going to get the opportunities to do what he's really potentially capable of doing. Bam at his peak to me is extremely similar to Anthony Davis. I would argue at this very second he's probably still a better shooter. So with that in mind, it raises a lot of questions. Not gonna lie, a whole lot. He said Juzang getting let go hurt more on an emotional level. I hope he lands on a contender. Yeah, honestly, just any competitive team. I would be fine if he joined the Hornets. Granted, the Hornets are bad, but the Hornets are making some interesting deals. Who is it? Somebody retired as well. Played for the Jazz too, I think. Was it Bogdan? Bogdan Bogdanovich? Bogey. Bogdan Bogdanovich. I think it was. Wait, maybe I'm wrong. Am I tripping? I don't think I am. I am definitely tripping. This guy is too young. This is wait. Somebody retired. It's not him. It's somebody. Who is it? Okay, okay, it's It's Bohan. Right. That's the mistake I made. Whoops. Apologies. Bohan Bogdanovich. People don't pay attention. Bro was tough. Bro was tough. He was too great to be considered a role player, but he also wasn't literally like the number one guy on any given team. So I think that was the thing that hurt him the most. But he was always serviceable. 20 points with the Pistons, 20 with the Pistons again. Then he came to the Jazz. Or excuse me, I just read that in reverse order. I was wondering why that looked weird. I was like, he didn't play with the Pistons when he was young. Um, right, Pacers gets up to 18 points, comes to the Jazz, 2017-18, about 44-45% shooting, about 39-40% from 3 point range, four rebounds, 2 assists. Goes off to the Pistons 21-20, you know, and then 10 in his last year with the Knicks in just 29 games. So it was time for him to hang it up. I want to say he said that there was a lot of foot injuries that ended up nagging. He's had several surgeries, and he just decided like it's time. It's time to let everything go behind him. And basketball was great to him, and it gave him a lot of opportunities and whatnot. But that does it for him. You said Valanciunas retired? Did Val? Really? Wait, I spelled it wrong. Valanciunas. Really? Considering NBA departure. So is he 9 hours, 8 hours, 2 hours? Let me see this. Amid EuroLeague move. Maybe coming to a close. Casting out a short-term future with the Denver Nuggets. Close to accepting a 3-year lucrative deal with EuroLeague powerhouse Panathinaikos Athens. The Greek. That's the Greek team I want to say. That reminds me. That's like Giannis. And the deal is reportedly worth 12 million euros, approximately 12.9 US dollars. That's fair. It's not crazy. In exchange for veteran forward Dario Saric, who played 13 seasons. I'm surprised Dario Saric is still in the league, low key. I never remember him doing anything crazy. Mm, 3-year offer worth 12 million. So that's like what, four something? Ooh, so that's a steep dip money wise though. Nuggets acquired him part of roster restructuring his current NBA contract. It's through 25-26 with Denver to pay him out $10 million this year. However, the team holds a $10 million option next year. I see their problem. Can't be mad at him. Can't be mad at him. This side note, but can any Jazz fan explain why I can't find an authentic cut Jazz jersey? I only see Sling Man. That is a very good question. There's a lot of jerseys I was hunting for last year that I couldn't find. But I stay in my lane and don't say anything. Bond, yeah. I will never forget Bond's game winner over the Rockets. There's a Bogdan Bogdanovic. He's still playing, yeah. Oh, it's good, Landon. Bogdan jersey for $14 at Ross. That's a steal. Why they hating Bogdan that much? That's crazy. Just a bunch of random crap. Yeah, literally. Bit of everything. You think the Nuggets or Bucks are contenders with the moves they made? If Valanciunas doesn't actually end up reporting to the Nuggets, I would say arguably not. But no, for the Bucks, I also have to say no because who is their point guard? Bucks. Roster. Ryan Rollins or Delon Wright? Are they going to switch Pat Connaughton up? Not AJ Johnson, not Andre Jackson Jr., not AJ Green. Are they going to move Kevin Porter? I mean, they could, but I would recommend it. I could see it. Kevin Porter didn't really get as many minutes as I thought he would have this past year, Loki. Unless I just yeah, no, he only played about 20 minutes a night. I'm high on him as a scorer for sure. It just kind of sucks. From putting together 19 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, to being borderline bench merchant with the Clippers and it continue with the Bucks. I can see him switching to the one. If they do that, that would be interesting. I don't think they would be a what's it called? I don't think they would be a contender, but they would definitely be a serviceable roster, considering the way they retooled. I don't like the Bucks. I was personally not sure what Nuggets did so far. Nuggets probably will be the playoffs regardless because of Jokic. AJ, don't know what the Bucks are doing right now. Trying to become Chicago. Yeah. Speaking of which, the Bulls traded away Lonzo. That's what I forgot. So now all 3 of my jerseys don't matter. Remember that last time I said 2 of them don't matter and all I have is Lonzo? I don't even have Lonzo now. Yeah, every jersey on my wall is now obsolete except for Lowry. Let me see. Lonzo Ball. Cleveland Cavs. This is a great pickup. The Cavs needed this very badly. And if they can get a little bit more of a run and gun style offense, they're going to love having Lonzo more than they ever know. Let me see. Crazy. He played 35 games last year, just like he did 3 years ago. I remember when I was waiting for Lonzo to return from injury. Now he's here. Look at him. Only 22 minutes of action, 7.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. I'm interested to see what comes of this. Definitely interested. He solves a lot of their problems for sure. Bulls guards have to be cursed. Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically. Honestly, I couldn't tell you what the whole thing is for everybody. I didn't really have any structure for this live, to be honest. I just wanted to sit and talk for a bit. Um, oh, Malik Beasley, you silly goose. 16 points, four threes made a game, 42% from the field, 41, almost 42% from 3 point range. Goodness gracious. And sports betting allegations. Just doesn't make sense. It'll be interesting to see the Rockets. Jabari Smith Jr. Interesting. Joins Luca and Lowry as the only two players with these averages in their first 3 seasons. Interesting. Weird that Luke is on the list, but also makes sense. Can't be mad at it. I love Lonzo. I hope one day he wins with the Cavs. Yeah, Lonzo's one of those guys that just worked hard. He played the game the right way. He plays defense hard. Us knowing that he has bad knees and him always still trying to lock up on defense is crazy to me. I'm not gonna lie. There's guys that are fully healthy and never get injured. They couldn't care about defense at all. Cavs getting Alonso is just another reason to ditch Darius. That's also a good point. I think they might hold off. I think they might give Darius one more year and have Lonzo back him up. And if Lonzo ends up being healthy and balls out in the time that he's given, and Darius continues to do Darius things this upcoming year, I think you will definitely see Darius Garland get traded and Lonzo assume the starting point guard role and responsibilities. Jimmy Butler, Russell Westbrook. Oh, is Russell Westbrook still 14 6, 14 6, 2.3, 46% from the field? He's getting paid. Can't say he isn't. That's for sure. It'll be interesting to see if Joel comes back. I'm wondering about that. Do we know how long his injury timetable is? Mm-hmm. Either way, this season's going to be really interesting. I'm not going to lie. Got to be interesting to see the next few years how the Thunder keep their core together if they go back to back. Yeah, because didn't they also pay somebody though? Somebody on the Thunder get paid this year? It wasn't Caruso. It wasn't J Dub. Oh, it was Shea. Duh. I don't know how I had a slow moment like that. Yeah, the largest contract in NBA history. Look it up in the tab. Shea Gildas Alexander contract extension. 4 year, 285 million, dude. That's absurd. Extension breakdown. How much is that a year? I don't even want to look at how much that is a year, but I'm about to look anyways because I love pocket watching. Ooh. Mm. That's crazy. That's a lot of money. 63. Oh, he is late 20s, isn't he? That's crazy. Wait, no, he's not. Wait, yeah. What? Kind of. 27. Or either he is 27 or he's about to turn 27. Either way, makes sense. They were all too good to not get paid. Most of them are on rookie deals. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. So they're probably gonna. It depends on how bad they're willing to go into the luxury tax. If they continue to be an absolute powerhouse, I think they'll be willing to deal with the restrictions that come with the CBA, with that new CBA deal and everything, and it's second April and whatnot. And their ownership will pay the money of the luxury tax in order to keep these guys together. If they do that, every team that thought they were going to be winning later, i.e., the Jazz and company, they have a lot longer to wait, basically. I mean, other than that, there's not much to be concerned about. It's just interesting. Golly, 35% of the cap. Insanity, brother. I wish I made that money. Just, just one check. Just one, bazillion-dollar check. But speaking of which, since we're here, let's read. What do your stats look like, brother? 14, 6, 2, almost 1, almost 1. 46%, 37.9 on 5.8 threes, 77% from the free throw line. She's shooting 57%. 1.4 turnovers. Interesting. Did you see the practice clip of the Jazz put on YouTube? The guys are looking good. Yeah. Yes, Landon. That's a good point. Cody definitely looked like he was putting on some size. And I saw there was like a short blurb or a short like interview that had been done. And when they asked him about like his eating habits and everything like that, he was talking about how there's a lot of times he doesn't even taste the food. He just gets the calories down because he knows he needs X amount of calories, which is also good, but also kind of rough because you don't really want your player to have to experience that. But it's part of the game. It's something that's gonna happen regardless. So it's better to be prepared for it. I think. You know what I'm saying? he said, Jeff. He said Cody had to get better, bigger. Yeah, he was not about to get any minutes out of anybody. So it was pleasant that he was actually able to get his stuff together like this. Let's read. Huh? No, that's worth 25 million a year. I'm not mad at that. That's not crazy to ask. I was trying to debate with myself as to how much I could say. I said, just hope he stays. Remember stories of Kurlenko losing mass as the season wore on. Yeah, super excited for the summer league this year. I'm gonna be tuning in. If flights to Utah weren't so crazy, I would fly out there and watch a summer league game. I think that would definitely be a vibe, low key. But it's okay. I'll just turn on my TV like a normal person, and we'll go from there. You know what I'm saying? Not mad or nothing. Think about the 19th for 19th. I saw something where people think that Ace is going to change his number because in his media day pictures, he's holding the ball in front of his chest, and you don't see any numbers. So I'm thinking they were waiting to see who they traded. I think he might end up wearing the number 2 like on Sexton Loki. Um, yeah, Hendricks looks more ripped. He looked ripped last year when he was supposed to be doing his thing. Unfortunately, what happened happened. But PT will definitely get it back into you, and if you didn't have it or if you never had it, it's going to be about getting you in to have it, basically. Kurlingo also was a hustle or a huge hustler. That's a good point. That's a fair point. even be mad at it. Man, any other interesting news from anybody else's teams that's come out that we haven't talked about yet? I had a couple more minutes. Dang, it's already been 50 minutes. Time flies when I'm talking to you guys. I swear. I'll probably run like a 10-hour. Who's the starting point guard? I'm gonna go Isaiah starting out. It makes the most sense for me. Um, I could see a change, of course, but I think it just makes sense considering how he played at the end of last season. I want to say he was averaging a borderline double double in what was that? In August or in August in March, and it dragged into April, even though there wasn't like that many games that we had. I want to say we had like 3 games, and he played in them and did pretty decent. So I don't see a world where we change that formula since it works so well for us, and we just kind of vibe out and make something happen. But let's see. Cody Williams is going to have a lot of G League time this year. I've realized the worst thing we could have done last year is draft him because he has a brother that's on the Thunder. What do we do? Draft him because he has a brother on the Thunder. Um, as a kid, I used to always hope that 2 people like that would play on the same team, not play on different teams. But you never really know. You never really know. If Collins doesn't get traded, do you think we will buy him out? I could see it. It depends on how bad we want to trade him. Like if we know for a fact, like right now, if we were to probe Justin Zanuck's mind, probe Austin Age's mind, and they both say he's not going to be on this roster after the fall, then no, there's no point. I'm just going to keep it a band with him. But if you're one of the guys where it makes sense, then go ahead. And if you have the money to do it, definitely go ahead. But don't go into debt to prove something for one night for anything going on. Starting shooting guard is the unknown. It's probably going to be Ace Bailey. It makes sense that it's him. It's the only thing I can imagine. Filipowski is such a steal. Absolutely. I will forever be grateful for people sitting and talk about, oh, his girlfriend this, his girlfriend that, da da da. Yes. And now he's paid, and his girlfriend is still this, that, and the third. I mean, it just made sense. You know what I'm saying? Any other bases we need to cover? Let me know something. My neck is in pain. I don't really want Boston Reeves on this roster. Loki. Dumbest reasons to fall. Number 1. Yes. Completely unbasketball related. Nothing not him beating on her, not him yelling at her in public, not him cussing her out in front of kids, stealing something from her. No, no, no. No, no. It was a her problem that was between him and her. We were trying to be like, yeah, she's out of pocket, buddy. Now you have to suffer for what your girlfriend is doing. Like, what? Please stop. All the dumb storylines have gotten us. All our good players. Yeah. Flipping A's. It's just been like that, man. It's hilarious, really. But you just roll with the punches. Just roll with the punches. Mm-hmm. If y'all didn't have anything else, I didn't want to keep y'all too long, but I did want to talk to y'all. I had a full day, as y'all can tell. I told y'all first. I was hoping to stream around 8. Then I realized that wasn't going to happen. Then I was streaming at 10. And then I was still busy helping somebody else record a podcast, so I couldn't do that. But that's why I put in my community post that I was going to pop out and still say something because, I told y'all I was going to be on tonight. So even though I'm running on like an hour and a half of sleep, we're going to get it done. You feel what I'm saying? Just like hopefully the Jazz know what they're doing. Because if they don't, this is going to get really ugly. Honestly, Collier was a steal of the draft too. For sure. For sure. Mm. Everybody recently, except for Keontae, was a rough pickup. Excuse me, was above what I would have expected him to be so early on. Walker Kessler for sure. Uh, yeah, it's not super close to me. But yeah, I appreciate y'all boys popping out, tuning in, showing love, and things of that nature. You know how it goes. Um, I may keep doing live streams instead of just recording the other ones because of how interactive this is and the conversations that we can have. Um, so I'll probably keep this up. I'm gonna try and go live 2 times a week. I think during the off season, I should be able to manage that. Fingers crossed, right? I don't want to give a time because that would be judging by how it is each time. Pretty ridiculous for me to do. I'm just gonna go live, or when I know for a fact a couple hours before that I'm good, then I'll go ahead and let y'all know. He said Hendricks getting called a bust so early reminds me of the only time he was young. Only had one freaking yeah. Anybody that calls Taylor Hendricks just a bust right now, I question your basketball knowledge. I question if you've ever played sports at a high level in any way because it just doesn't make sense to me. Not at all. But yeah, you gentlemen and ladies, if there's any ladies in here, have a good night. Oh, I gotta do my sound off right. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. If you've been here, I know I got a lot of OGs in the chat right now. I appreciate y'all for sure because Tyson was reminding me he's 20 now. He was talking about how he has been watching since he was 18, which was crazy. I realized what it was. Say, do I think the Spurs are contenders? Call me crazy. This is a hot take. Yes. If the two rookies perform the way that I think they will, if Dylan Harper is efficient, Stephon Castle year 2 jump, Victor Wembanyama healthy, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, all those boys, yes, they are contenders. People won't respect them until they go into the playoffs and start handling business, but they are. Just had to get that one off though. Yeah. What's good, Mac? How you doing? I miss we used to do that, buddy. Glad to see you. Gotta get some rest. Oh, as always, smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, drop a donation, become a member of the channel to get the videos sooner than anybody else. And as always, good morning, good evening, and good night, no matter where in the globe watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys